Do not move to Charlotte, North Carolina until you know everything that people hate about living here. Because I did. I moved here without knowing anything about the bumper-to-bumper traffic, the crazy weather, or the crazy dangerous wildlife down here. So do not, I repeat, do not do what I did, because I found that I love it here. However, many people have not found that they love it here. So I'm going to give you the truth about North Carolina, and you can decide whether it's a place for you or maybe it's not the place for you. Number one, underestimating the cost of living to income ratio. Now, it still has one of the best cost of living income ratios in the country, but how much of that advantage is left once you see the 2025 price tags? Median home prices just hit $430,000, which is a 34% increase since 2020. Rents have climbed 19% while vacancy hovers right below 4%. Bidding wars, which is about 3 to 4 offers, are now routine inside the 485 loop. The price to income multiple is half of New York City or San Francisco. The property tax rate is about 0.66%, which is cheaper than Atlanta and Austin, Texas. Utilities and groceries run anywhere between 8 to 12% below comparable Sunbelt metros. But if you're not sure if Charlotte actually makes sense for you financially, the absolute last thing I want for you is to jump into something fast, make a mistake, and end up stressed out trying to pay your bills. So I put together a special list of homes. I call it the Charlotte Smart Buyer Watch List. It's not just random houses. It focuses specifically on finding potential value options for you, homes with recent price cuts, new builds offering incentives, and hidden deals that you cannot find on the big websites. Scan the QR code or click the link to get the free list of homes text right to your phone so you can make informed decisions you feel good and secure about, and not one that you're actually going to regret. Great. So if you can earn that paycheck, let's see what the job market really offers. North Carolina ranks in the top 3 states for business for the past 5 years in a row, with low cost and strong business growth. And that sounds bulletproof, right? Until you realize that growth isn't evenly spread. 6-figure rows cluster uptown, South End, and Ballantyne, while the exurbs lag behind. Coastal and West Coast remote workers, flood positions, and housing without adding local jobs. Creative and media jobs are still thin compared to Los Angeles and New York. The HQ for Bank of America, Truist, Honeywell, and Lowe's equals about 110,000 white-collar jobs. Fintech and EV manufacturing startups are up about 38% since 2022, and the corporate tax sliding to about 2.5% by 2027 will keep expansion humming. So now that the big paycheck is secured, you want to ask yourself, how safe do you feel walking home after work? Compared to Houston, New York, or LA, North Carolina cities have far lower crime rate. Now, lower isn't the same as low, so where does Charlotte really sit on the scale? The violent crime rate is about 704 over 100K, which is safer than Philly, but riskier than Boise. There are weekend spikes on East Trade to South Tryon nightlife strip, and there's also property theft rising in gentrifying Noda and Camp North End. Suburbs like Davidson, Waxhaw, and Huntersville rank in America's safest top 5%. CMPD's real-time camera network has cut response time by 14% in 2024, and violent crime has drifted downward for 3 straight years despite a crazy population boom. Now, can you actually get around without losing your mind? North Carolina is majorly car-centric. In Charlotte, the truth really hits home the moment you check the transit map. There are only 2 light rail lines, and the bus grid misses the entire suburbs. If you live further than a mile from the rail, well, guess what? You will have to drive. And the promised Airport Express was axed in 2024 from the budget cuts. So the average commute is about 25 minutes, which is truly mild compared to Los Angeles' 405 or Atlanta's 285, which is crazy. Now, we have walkable pockets in the South End, Uptown, and Plaza Midwoods, which lets some residents go a little bit car light. And then we also have a $5 billion in highway upgrades, which includes the I-77 express lanes and the I-45 widening, which is already easing the choke points on those roads because it gets crazy. But smooth pavements cannot fix who shares the road with you. The drivers here are so darn bad, and I'm going to call out a few different types of bad drivers. First, we have the smartphone super user. Then we have the leader of the slow parade. And then we have the people who don't understand roundabouts. Which sounds pretty funny until you're stuck behind all three before 8 a.m. Rush hour pressure points from 7:30 to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on I-77, I-85, and I-45 North. Speeding and tailgating is almost the culture here. It's like that. Now, on the lighter side, even worst case backups beats the average LA or DC gridlock. DOT is widening and reversible lanes are already trimming down the commute times. Most suburban routes still clock about under 30 minutes door to door. With that said, so many people move here and shorten their commutes but still get stuck in soul-crushing, park in the middle of the interstate kind of traffic every day. And even if you're okay with some of that, I think it's a huge, stressful mistake, and it's one I genuinely want to help you avoid, whether you see an issue with it or not, because life is too short to get stuck in traffic. So because where you choose to live makes all the difference to your time and sitting in the sun on the interstate cruising along, the mini golf outings with your kids on Saturday afternoons, or the cafe and coffee shops you go with your friends every weekend. So before you even start dreaming about specific houses, I need to figure out which areas actually make sense for your commute and your lifestyle. So I created the Charlotte Commute and Lifestyle Quiz. It's instant, it's easy, and it gives you a personalized list of area suggestions based on the same questions that I'd ask my friends before I give them suggestions on where they might find what they value in a neighborhood. Think of it as me helping you find a spot where you get to spend more time after work, playing tennis, or hiking in the weekends. So scan the code here or click the link below and take our free commute and lifestyle quiz. So is the road rage over? Good. Now brace for the skies changing on you without any warning. Number 6, unpredictable yet temperate weather. So here we have a very temperate 4-season climate. This is good if you like it and bad if you don't want all 4 seasons. Which actually sounds pretty lovely right up until the humidity and ice storms tag team your week. So on the negative side, the humid summers here will push the heat index past 100 degrees easy. One ice storm every few winters will bring the city to a crawl, and tropical remnants can dump inches of rain overnight. On the positive side, we really top 100 degrees and we really drop below 20 degrees. And if you want to go 2 hours to the west, you can go for cool mountain summers, and 3 hours to the east will get you mild coastal winters. We have no California wildfires or no Midwest tornadoes alleys. Now, lush greenery does come at a cost, and your sinuses are next in line. Number 7, brutal allergy seasons. In the spring and fall, cars, patios, sidewalks get coated in yellow and orange pollen. It drifts into the air, seeps into your home, clogs your HVAC and your car air filters, and even if you never had allergies before, you might develop them here. So how bad is bad? Well, it's enough to turn your black sedan mustard yellow overnight. So on the negative side, pine pollen blankets everything for 6 to 8 weeks every spring. Ragweed kicks in again come September, and many transplant develop brand new allergies year 1 or 2. On a positive note, year-round foliage and early blooms beat drought-stricken regions. HEPA filters and over-the-counter meds and spring car wash memberships tame about 90% of symptoms, and most long-timers say reactions soften by year 3. Well, plants aren't the only things driving here. Let's meet your new critter neighbors. Number 8, overwhelming bugs and wildlife. So here in the Carolinas, we have a wonderful biodiversity, which is cool and terrifying. If you love hiking, bird watching, or outdoor adventures, North Carolina's biodiversity is a huge positive. You get mountains, forests, and coastal wildlife all in one state. And all that is cool until you have fire ants invading your lawn and a copperhead is sunbathing on your driveway. So on the negative side, we have fire ant mounds, termites, and cockroaches flourishing in the clay soil down here. Raccoons, deer, and the occasional black bear will raid the trash or your garden. On the positive side, there's no scorpions, there's minimal gator territory, fewer venomous species in Texas, world-class hiking, paddling, birding, all inside a weekend range, and local parks and greenway weave a 52 miles of nature throughout the metro, which is actually pretty cool. Now, after sunset, all that nature gives way to Charlotte's social scene, depending on how late you stay up. Number 9, a slower pace and limited nightlife. Now, if you need nonstop action, this is not your place. But if you want a mix of fun and a calmer, more balanced life with growing food and entertainment scenes, North Carolina definitely delivers. So to translate that, the party winds down earlier than you might expect. On the negative side, bars tend to thin out by about 1 a.m. Mondays through Wednesday can feel a little sleepy, and fine dining and club selections lags behind Atlanta or Austin. On the positive side, South End breweries, notable music halls, Plaza Midwood eateries keeps evenings pretty lively without a 3 a.m. mayhem. There's easier parking, shorter lines, and fewer sirens cut the stress, which is ideal for families and professionals chasing a good work-life balance. And speaking about the nightlife, let's talk about the state-run liquor quirks that can shock newcomers. Number 10, local alcohol and blue laws. Now here, you can drink, just not when or where you want. What does blue law living feel like day to day? On the negative side, you can only buy liquor at ABC stores, which close at 9 p.m. and they're closed on Sundays. There's no Costco, tequila, or Target bourbon runs, and the selections are smaller and the prices are higher than many transplants will expect. On the positive side, there are 60 plus craft breweries. South End alone hosts over a dozen within 1 mile. Tap rooms open until about 2 a.m., so nightlife isn't all the way bone dry, it's just regulated. And Yadkin Valley wineries and emerging distilleries add a lot of local spirit. Okay, now let's switch from spirits to shelters, the home buying curveballs waiting for newcomers. Number 11, real estate surprises, due diligence fees, HOAs, and basementless homes. Now, North Carolina's real estate markets has some unique features that often catch buyers off guard, which sounds pretty intriguing until you learn how those features can empty your wallet before closing day. On the negative side, a due diligence fee equals a non-refundable earnest money. So if you bail on that deal, the cash stays with the seller, okay? HOAs blanket most of new bills, resort pools, yes, but also a rule book on mailbox color. True basements are rare. The clay soil here's high water table makes them very expensive or impossible to make. And inside the I-45 loop, median listings are now drawing 3 to 4 competitive offers, so you can expect escalation clauses. For sure. On the positive side, a healthy due diligence check will signal strength and often scare away low commitment bidders. Many HOAs delivers custom clubhouses, pickleball courts, private lakes, and neighborhood events that boost resale value. Flex lofts, bonus rooms, and oversized garages replace basements, and they're still cheaper per square foot than Denver or Austin. There's no earthquakes, wildfires, or coastal wind insurance premiums that hammer places like California and Florida's budgets crazily. Okay, so you got your keys in your hands. Great. Now, if you get sick or injured, will the local healthcare scene actually have your back? Number 12, healthcare, big systems, and indie options. Now, healthcare in North Carolina, it's complicated and expensive. And you might be thinking, complicated how? So let's start with the two giants that run this town. On the negative side, Atrium and Novant dominate. And on a bad night in the ER, the wait can top about 3 hours. There's high demand for specialists, dermatologists, neurologists, pediatrists, GIs. Book months out unless you will drive to Durham or Winston-Salem. And also, not every national insurance plan contracts with both systems, so newcomers sometimes have to switch coverage mid-move. Now, on the positive side, suburban corridors bristle with independent concierge and direct primary care clinics, which means shorter waits and longer visits. Duke-affiliated cardio and oncology center sits about 25 minutes up I-85 for complex care. Telemedicine adoption has jumped about 38% post-2023, shrinking rural specialist gaps. Average procedures cost tracks between 10 to 15% below Boston, New York, and LA. Now, excellent care is available if you know the system, but there's one final blunder that can erase every advantage. And number 13, the number one mistake, moving without visiting first. Now, do you think you can pick the perfect place just from online research? Well, think again. Screens often hide surprises that the moving truck can't. And here's what virtual tours never show. On the negative side, Google Street View can't reveal the 35-minute crawl onto I-77 at 8 a.m. The charming fixer-upper might back up to a 24-hour diesel freight spur. Pollen haze, nighttime noise, and Friday parking battles stay invisible online. On the positive side, you can fly in on Friday, drive your potential commute at rush hour and feel the real stress level, shop for groceries, hit a brewery, locate urgent care, test the ordinary, not the Instagram, chat with the locals. Unfiltered neighborhood intel beats any subreddit posts. And if Monday morning still feels right, well, congratulations, you are Charlotte ready. So after all of this, should you move to Charlotte? With all that said, I don't know. There's no way for me, a random guy on the internet, to blindly know your situation and give you relevant advice. And don't listen to anyone who claims to have that answer for you. They're lying. To make a properly informed decision, you need to take a trip or a visit, or at the very least, take a virtual tour of the city to see if, when you're jostled around in some godforsaken Spirit Airlines flight, coming home from a family holidays, will seeing the tarmac at Charlotte Airport give you a pit in the bottom of your stomach, or are you going to breathe a sigh of relief that you're finally back where you feel like you're home? Well, I can't answer that, but to help you answer that, I offer a free 15-minute Charlotte visiting planning call. Think of it as me being your local guide before you even arrive. We can quickly map out key areas for you to see based on your needs, test out those commute times, and make sure you use your time here wisely because it's very valuable. I want you to get an accurate feel for this place, and even if that means figuring out that it's not for you. You can also take the Charlotte Commute and Lifestyle quiz here to get personal neighborhood suggestions, or you can grab the Charlotte Buy Watch list of homes to understand what homes that you like cost to buy here. And if you're still in the learning phase and want that high-level overview before punching your credit card into the airline's website, you need to watch my brutally honest pros and cons of living in Charlotte video. And if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Andrew Wallen, your realtor to help you find and buy the perfect home in or near the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. And as always, until next time, hope to show you around.